On a hot summer afternoon in 1941, the prisoners of Auschwitz stood silently in formation. Someone had escaped. As punishment, the commandant ordered that 10 innocent men would die by starvation. One by one, the prisoners were selected. Then something happened that no one expected. A man stepped out of line. He removed his cap. He looked at the commandant and quietly said, "I am a Catholic priest. I wish to die in place of that man." Permission was granted. One prisoner walked back to his family. Father Maximilian Kolbe walked toward a starvation bunker. History remembers that moment, but moments like that are never created in a single afternoon. Long before Auschwitz, long before anyone knew his name, Maximilian Kolbe was simply Raymond, a boy growing up in Poland. His parents worked hard. His family had little. Nothing about his childhood suggested history was watching. As a young boy, he experienced something that shaped the rest of his life. While praying before an image of the Blessed Virgin Mary, he later recalled seeing 2 crowns, one white, one red. Purity, martyrdom. He accepted them both. Whether someone sees that as a miracle or as the defining spiritual memory of a young boy, one thing is beyond dispute. From that day forward, Raymond lived with remarkable purpose. He entered the Franciscans. He became Father Maximilian, and he spent the rest of his life trying to become the man he believed God was calling him to be. History usually remembers a person's greatest day. It often forgets the thousands that came before it. Father Kolbe became a priest. He studied. He preached. He founded a magazine that reached hundreds of thousands of readers. He built monasteries. He traveled halfway around the world to Japan to establish another. He was rarely healthy. Tuberculosis followed him much of his life. Still, he kept working, not because he expected recognition, because he believed his life belonged to something greater than himself. Most days looked ordinary: prayer, work, writing, serving, one faithful day after another. Then came war. Germany invaded Poland. Many fled. Father Kolbe stayed. His monastery became a refuge for people with nowhere else to go. Among them were thousands of Jewish refugees. Eventually, the Nazis arrested him. In 1941, he was sent to Auschwitz. Even there, the habits of a lifetime remained. He shared what little food he had. He encouraged frightened prisoners. He listened. He prayed. He quietly reminded broken men that they still possessed a dignity no prison could take away. Then came the escape, the punishment. 10 innocent men, one father's cry, and one priest who stepped forward. No one could have predicted that decision by looking at that single afternoon, but perhaps someone who had watched the previous 47 years could. The starvation bunker became strangely quiet. Witnesses later remembered hearing prayers, hymns, words of encouragement. Even there, Father Kolbe continued doing what he had always done, serving the people God had placed beside him. Nearly 2 weeks later, he was the last survivor. On August 14th, 1941, he was killed by lethal injection. When we hear stories like this, it's tempting to admire them from a distance, to tell ourselves that saints are simply different, that somehow they were born with a courage the rest of us could never possess. But history suggests something else. Extraordinary moments often reveal what ordinary days have been quietly building. Long before Maximilian Kolbe gave away his life, he had learned to give away his comfort, his plans, his strength, his time, again and again and again. Tomorrow morning, most of us won't wake up inside a prison camp. We'll wake up to an alarm clock, a classroom, an office, a family that needs us, a workout we don't feel like doing, a difficult conversation we've been avoiding. Those moments may seem ordinary. History probably won't remember them, but they are shaping someone. You. The commitments we make, the habits we build, the sacrifices we willingly embrace, slowly become the person we are becoming. God has entrusted each of us with time, talent, and treasure. How we use those gifts is one of the greatest questions of our lives. Father Maximilian Kolbe answered that question one ordinary day at a time, long before the world ever noticed. Perhaps that's how every meaningful life is built. Thank you for watching the Virtue Playbook. If this story encouraged you, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone striving to become a little better than they were yesterday. Until next time, keep building the habits that build the person.